All right, welcome to the Explainer. So, you've got this brilliant idea, right? Maybe a totally groundbreaking piece of tech. But how do you actually get it out there into the world and turn it into a real success? Well, today, we're breaking down the essential steps to make that happen.
I mean, you've poured countless hours, maybe even years, into developing something new, something valuable. You just know it has the potential to make a real impact. Because let's be real, very few of us have the factories, the global distribution, and the giant marketing budget to do it all by ourselves. You're probably going to need a partner. But figuring out that partnership, well, that's where a great idea can either soar or just completely fizzle out.
And this is the tool that makes it happen, the Technology Licensing Agreement. Look, it's not just some dry legal document. Think of it as the bridge that connects your innovation to the marketplace. It's how you set the rules for a partnership where everybody comes out ahead.
So here's our game plan. We're going to walk through 5 essential stages. First, what exactly is this thing? Then, how do you get ready for the deal? After that, the big one. How much is your idea worth? Then we'll get into the art of the negotiation itself, and finally, how to make sure you land a deal where everyone wins.
All right, so let's start with the absolute fundamentals. This agreement is the formal framework, the blueprint for your partnership. It's not a roadblock. It's the structure that actually makes a successful collaboration possible.
So why even bother with this? Well, the payoffs are huge for everyone. If you're the creator, you get your idea to market way faster, and you start bringing in revenue. You can even take someone who might have been a competitor and make them your partner. And for the company licensing your tech, they get cutting-edge innovation without all the R&D costs. It is a total strategic move for both sides.
Okay, let's talk about what is, no joke, the most critical part of this whole thing, the prep work. The deal isn't won when you're in the negotiation room. It's won in all the hard work you do weeks or even months before you ever sit down at the table.
And it really all boils down to these 3 pillars. First, you have to know your goal. What does a win actually look like for you? Second, you have to do your homework. They call it due diligence, and you absolutely cannot skip it. And third, and this is a big one, before you share a single detail about your secret sauce, you get a non-disclosure agreement, an NDA signed. Protect your idea.
So what does this homework really mean? It means you're digging into their company reports, you're reading trade journals, you're checking patent databases, you're basically becoming an expert on them and the market. This isn't being sneaky, it's just being incredibly smart.
Okay, the million-dollar question, right? You've done your research, you've got a partner in mind, but what is your big idea actually worth? Now, this can feel like the hardest part, but trust me, there are solid ways to figure it out.
Generally speaking, you're looking at 2 main ways to get paid. You've got lump sums, which are fixed payments. You get X amount when you sign, for instance. It's lower risk because that money is guaranteed. Then you've got royalties, which are a percentage of future sales. Here, you're betting on success. It's higher risk for sure, but if the product is a blockbuster hit, the reward could be massive.
Now, this table shows a really crucial point about value. Using biotech as an example, just look at the difference. An idea that's way back at the discovery stage, it gets a lower rate because, well, it's still a pretty high-risk concept. But a technology that's already in late-stage trials can command a much higher royalty because most of the risk for the partner is gone. The key takeaway is simple. The more risk you take off your partner's plate, the more your innovation is worth.
All right, you have done your prep. You have a clear idea of your value. Now it's time for the main event, sitting down at the table to negotiate the deal.
But hold on. Before you even think about tackling some 100-page contract full of legalese, you need a roadmap. And that roadmap is called the Heads of Agreement. You might also hear it called a term sheet.
This thing is your secret weapon. Seriously, instead of getting lost in the weeds, this simple document, usually just 2 to 5 pages, lets you and your partner agree on the big picture first. Things like, what's the payment structure? What's the scope of the license? It makes the whole process so much faster and way less intimidating.
Okay, now for some golden rules of negotiation. And this first one, it's everything. It's the foundation of the whole deal. A licensing agreement isn't a one-time transaction. It's the start of a marriage, a long-term relationship. If one side feels like they lost, trust me, they will find ways to make it painful later on. The only deal that lasts is a win-win.
This is where the real art of the deal comes in. You've got to find things to trade. So maybe you couldn't care less about having exclusive rights in, I don't know, South America. For you, it's no big deal, but for them, it's a huge market. You can give them that, which costs you nothing, in exchange for something you really want, like a higher royalty rate.
It's all about finding these valuable, uneven trades.
And finally, never, ever forget this. From the payment schedule to who provides tech support to what the marketing plan looks like, every single thing is on the table. Don't be afraid to get creative. This is your chance to build a deal that is perfectly designed for both of you.
So let's bring this all home. This whole journey, from the homework to the handshake, is all geared towards one single thing: making a deal where both parties walk away from the table feeling good, feeling like they won.
And I want to leave you with this really powerful quote. It's such an important reminder that forcing a bad deal through is actually worse than having no deal at all. Sometimes the real win is realizing this isn't the right fit and having the courage to walk away. The goal is a strong partnership that lasts for years.
Because here's the bottom line. You don't get the deal you deserve, you get the deal you negotiate. You have the roadmap now, you've got the tools, and you have the mindset. So the only question left is, are you ready to go out there and get it?